Hello, everyone. Bonjour, welcome. My name is Paul Keefe, business advisor here at the World Trade Centre Winnipeg. I would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that this webinar is coming to you from Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, OJ Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Thank you for joining our webinar, How to Start a Business in Manitoba, which will be presented by Eric Chaput. Before we begin, I want to share a few housekeeping items. Please send all of your webinar questions directly to the chat box at the top of your screen, and Eric will try to answer as many as he can during a Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. For all logistical questions, please send them directly to the chat box, and I will answer your questions as soon as possible. You will also receive a PDF copy and recording of this presentation within the next week. And now it's time to start our webinar. I would like to introduce you to Eric Chaput. With WTC Winnipeg since the spring of 2022, serving as a business advisor, Eric provides information and tools for clients seeking to start, grow, and expand their business. A graduate of the University of Winnipeg's Business Administration program, Eric says the best part of working at the World Trade Centre Winnipeg is hearing the stories of clients chasing a business opportunity. He always looks forward to helping local businesses here in Manitoba. Welcome, Eric. The floor is all yours.
Thank you, Paul. Hello, bonjour. Thank you for joining today's webinar, How to Start a Business in Manitoba. My name is Eric Chaput, business advisor at the World Trade Centre Winnipeg. The content we'll be covering today is business planning, how do you actually start a business structures, business permits, licenses, and regulations, legal consideration, taxation, and then know your industry. So how to familiarize yourself with different industries. All right, so I'm assuming some of you may have an idea or are considering starting a business. There are a few options you can start or join an existing business. First, you can start a brand new business, buy an existing business, create a cooperative, establish a partnership with an existing business. Either you want to become an angel investor, or you're looking to do an equity investment, or you're looking to buy share in the business. And lastly, maybe you're looking to franchise, for example, Tim Hortons. Well, in order to start your business, you're going to require to do a little bit of an overview or just having a general understanding of the market to validate your business idea, or maybe you're trying to figure out what is the goal of starting this business. One of the idea is evaluate your business idea. You have to do that anytime you want to start a new venture. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term SWOT analysis, but you need to identify your strengths and weaknesses. So maybe you're really good at with numbers. So you won't need maybe an accountant, but maybe you'll need to hire a marketing agent because you're terrible dealing with social media. Understanding your expenses, cash flow, and you also have to know your break-even point. And in order to do all these things, it's to make a business plan. The business plan is a critical role when securing finance or making informed decision and ensuring the business long-term success. So if you're looking for a template sample, you can contact the World Trade Centre in Winnipeg. You can put in a business information request form, or you can contact us directly, and Paul will put our contact information in the chat. You can also find templates on Microsoft Word, so where you can find templates through their program itself, or you can find it online. So you can do just a simple Google search, and you'll be able to see a bunch of templates of your preference. You can also contact your financial institution. So if you're looking for a small business loan, they should have a template to provide for you. to fill out if you're looking to acquire any finance. So the World Trade Centre Winnipeg also offers a business planning program. We have one starting very soon. So September 26th is the date. It's an online virtual session that runs for 7 weeks, led by expert Rosalie Harms, Peter Morera, and Sherry Cairns. The sessions are run from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Tuesday, and we provide a workbook, a business plan template, cash flow template, and financial template. It's designed again to create a solid business plan, and it's also a great opportunity to interact with like-minded entrepreneur or ask any business-related questions to the experts. All right, so let's dive into what I'm sure most of you guys are waiting for. How do you guys start a business? You're going to have to do these 3 steps. It doesn't matter if you're a small or large corporation, everybody needs to go through these steps. So step 1, you're going to first have to register the account through Companies Office. And Companies Office is responsible for the registration of corporation, partnership, sole proprietorship, and other business entities, as well as the maintenance of records related to these entities. So again, first you're going to make an account, and then you'll be able to access business name database. A lot of people will go in person to do that, but personally, from my experience, I recommend doing it through their online services called Companies Online. The next part is choosing a name. There are guidelines when it comes to reserving a name, and one of the requirement is it has to be unique, and you need to put in a name reservation request, which will cost you $45. Don't worry, let's say Companies Office rejects the name after you've made the reservation of the name because maybe it sounded too similar to another business. You will need to resubmit another application, and unfortunately, you will need to pay an additional $45. So every time Companies Office rejects the name, you need to pay like an additional $45 to reserve the name. There are a few instructions on choosing a business name, which the link will be available to you with the slides, or you can contact us and we have these resources as well with our startup kit. So there are limitations. So there are limitations on numbers names. I don't know if you ever seen, but there's like, you can choose a business name with like Manitoba Limited 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's limitation on punctuation mark. There are limitations on family names. So for example, if I used my name, so Chapu, if I did like Chapu Corporation, that will probably not be accepted. It has to have a unique component to it. So you could say something like Chapu Investing Services. That could be fine unless someone already chose that name. There are limitations on acronyms. It has to be a minimum of 3 letters in length. Profession, so we'll take the example of a plumber. That said, you need to provide proof that you have plumbing credential or qualification to provide those services. There's limitation on sound, and lastly, bilingual names. All right, so the last step, once Companies Office pre-approves the name, and they say the name is good to go, you may register the business structure and the business. There is a fee of $60, but if you're incorporating the business as a corporation, that's around $350. And if you're incorporating a numbered corporation, that's around $300. So business structures. Now, when you're choosing a business structure, there's different forms of business structures. So there's a sole proprietorship. So a sole proprietorship is owned or operated by a single individual. There's a partnership, which involves 2 or more individuals who shares ownerships and responsibilities. And it's very important to have a settlement agreement. They're important just to kind of, you know like who's doing what in the business. And you can pick that up on Google just by searching up like a settlement agreement template. But if you're working with, let's say, 2 or 3 partners, you can always seek help from a business lawyer. There's incorporating as a corporation. So corporation are separate legal entities owned by a shareholder who shares stock of the business. And there are cooperative, often referred as co-op. Usually it's operated by a member who typically shares common interests or goals. And there's also non-for-profit. All right, so home-based business permits. This is the most popular topic, or one of the recurring questions that I hear the most is, do I need a home-based business permit? Or what is a home-based business permit? So a home-based business permit may apply for full-time, part-time, or even occasional ventures. Once you register the business, if you are using your home address, it is important to get a home-based business permit. This means your mail comes to your home or administrative duties are conducted from your home. For example, if you are a massage therapist or you're starting a consulting services, or you're offering cleaning services and you put your home address as the location of your business, you still require to get that permit. And all of this can be done through your municipality or the city of Winnipeg. Now, this is for Winnipeg specifically because every municipality and every city have different prices when operating a business from your home, but it's around $165 per year, which allows you to have no employees or client on premises. I'll use the cleaning services as an example. So you're not operating, obviously, the business in your house because you're going to be going outside of your home for this type of service. But because you put your address as your home-based business, this is the type of license you would be applying for. Then there's the sorry, then there's the home-based business conditional use, which is $693 per year. And it allows you to have clients and employees on site. So for example, if you're a massage therapist or you have a hair salon, there are a couple more steps which the City of Winnipeg will be able to provide you for the step-by-step on how to apply for the conditional use for your home-based business. Legal requirements. So legal requirements, and I'll refer to the home-based business permits. So 2 things to consider. So license and permits and insurance. So if you need a specific license or permit, again, you can either contact your city or your municipality. But there's a website called BizPal. So it's created by the province of Manitoba. So you can visit the link and follow up the prompt and filter, for example, I want to start a business in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Then you would choose the business that you're starting the business in. So for example, maybe it's plumbing, electrical, maybe you're selling cannabis, building permits, street permits, or maybe you want to put a sign in front of your business. That's all requires some type of permit, and that you can find on BizPal. And again, if you're not sure like how to navigate the website because it is a little bit tricky, you can always just give them a call. Now, when it comes to insurance, insurance always incurs a cost. So you need to look at the overall picture and look at the risk profile of your business and see how much risk is involved in your venture. So if we're talking about life insurance, health insurance, liability insurance, or disability insurance, you should have that insurance. But when we're talking about the home-based business insurance, this is very important to pay attention to because if you are the homeowner, uh, there's not too many issues for registering the home-based business permit. But if you're keeping like a large inventory in your house, you will need to contact your insurance broker or whoever you have your home insurance with, and say that you're operating a business in your house. And if anything happens, your business may not be covered through just your home insurance. So you would need to get a separate premium for your home-based business. So taxation. So taxation, another very common topic when starting a business. So there's two different types of taxation in Manitoba, provincial sales tax, PST, and goods and services tax, GST. So now for the retail sales tax, RST, it's a tax imposed by the government of Manitoba. You should register for an account through the Manitoba Finance Taxation Division if you're making over $10,000 a year. But if you're starting a side gig or you're working part-time for your business, it's under the amount, then you don't need to register for RST. The other part is the good and service tax, so GST. This is a federal tax, and you should register for it when you're making over $30,000 per year. You can register it for it beforehand if you're approaching that mark. And there are benefits to that, and you would have to look up input tax credit. So after making $30,000 per year with your business, you must charge customer's client or your customer GST. The amount is about 8%. So for the last slide, know your industry. This is a very important component when starting a business. You can use that to market your business because networking is a very great way to understand your industry and learn as much information as you can from other entrepreneurs that has gone through the same process. So industry knowledge is a key asset for entrepreneur. It provides the foundation for strategic decision, risk management, and sustainable growth. Continuously staying informed about your industry helps you remain competitive and adaptable in a rapidly changing business environment. I highly advise joining or finding whether you can join maybe an association, a sector partner, or even getting a membership with the Chamber of Commerce. All right, so we're going to open up the chat for questions, or if you want, you can unmute your mic and yeah, I'll try to answer some of the questions you guys have.
Eric, yeah, great presentation. Lots to cover, and I know it's kind of a broad overview. So if anyone's a little confused, again, we're here to help, and we left, or I left our email addresses in the chat. So it looks like Eric, Helena's had a couple questions, really good ones. So is public liability is sufficient instead of home-based business permits? Basically just understanding, is the home-based business permit mandatory? Where do I find this information? As I get mixed info, that it is public liability insurance is enough to start a home business, especially when it is not bringing any income yet.
Yeah, it's a great question. So again, the home-based business permit, you can find that information through your city or your municipality. So either the city of Winnipeg. You can also find it online and fill out the application. I think it's just like a PDF file. But it depends again, like for the insurance part, like again, like you have to kind of look at, the risk. And if you are just kind of starting and nothing's going on, you don't need to apply for insurance right away. I would wait on that. And if you have any more questions, like you can always follow up with me by email.
Awesome. Thanks, Eric. So we got a couple more. So Aditeos asks, do you mean $30,000 as profit to start applying GST?
Yeah, so once you hit that $30,000 mark, then you need to start charging your client or your customer GSTS.
Okay. And Rob, I see your message there. Sorry if the slides were frozen. You will be getting a copy of this recording and the presentation after. So again, sorry that happened to you, but hopefully we can get that sorted out for you. Eric, I got one for you. So you briefly touched on name reservation.
Yep.
It's something I know we get calls a lot about. And I know dropping $45 constantly isn't really that fun. It's happened a couple of times. I think the most I've had a client come back with is 3, which is not fun. So what are some best practices that you can do before you actually go and reserve that name and, drop that $45, trying to best guarantee your spot at getting that name picked?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are a couple of things you can do. So if you have a name in mind, you can do a quick Google search and see if somebody's using the name. There's also on the company's online main menu page, there's a place where you can look up registered business name. So you can put the name that you have in mind, look it up there, and if nothing shows up, then you can proceed with the name reservation. And again, like even if you, for example, submit the name reservation, and company's office pre-approves it, they will still come up with a name that's very similar to yours, and they'll say like, do you want to proceed or no, before they pre-approve it, when you go to like submit the application, they might filter in their system like, hey, there's a name that's very similar to yours. But again, if you have a very unique name, you can proceed on submitting the application. But if you see that it's kind of similar, I would definitely change it.
Okay, awesome. I had a follow-up. So the 30,000 mark is profit and not sales. So yeah, so like if you're billing 30,000, so not profit. Like it's if you've billed your customer more than 30,000, then you should be charging GST.
Yeah.
So income, not necessarily profit.
Yeah.
Another question for you, Eric. So at the beginning, you kind of touched on franchising. Is there like, I guess, a checklist or something that is available to help kind of walk through that sort of process? Or like, do you have any tips on how to, get a franchise set up here in the province?
Yeah, so if you're looking to franchise, we do have a PDF file, kind of like it's a checklist on how to franchise a business. We also have different resources or partners that like you could go through a broker, and then basically they'll help you kind of just like how to assess on like how to buy a business.
Okay, great. I have another question from Lee. What if your business is mostly based at home over Zoom? I'm an intuitive medium. I connect with spirit. So most of the work is over the phone or over Zoom. How does that work with being home based? Some readings are out of the house, a group reading.
Yeah, good question, Lee. And yeah, this is kind of where people get it confused because like you're providing an online service. Like some people will get away with, not paying the home base business permit, because they are, you could say like, oh, I'm offering an online services. But again, like when you are going through the application of registering the business, there's going to be a question that says like, where's your business located? So if you put your home address, you would still need to get the home business permit, just because you've put the home address as where your business is located. It doesn't matter if you're offering an online services or you're, again, like I was using the cleaning services example. You're not operating in your house and you're going to the client's house. You still need to get the home base permit. A good question.
Helena, can I ask instead of message? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if anyone has questions and they turn the mic on and ask away, kind of first come, first serve.
I have a question.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering, like besides like getting together with different people for networking, what are other ways that you get, get your business name out there, get you out there?
Yeah. So when we're talking about like marketing, um, I mean that's a topic that a lot of people are, going back and forth with, because nowadays people are all marketing their business through social media. And a lot of people are not very comfortable with, juggling with Instagram and TikTok and sort of things. But you're going to be using these platform based on your ideal client. Like, if you're already using Facebook, and you're comfortable, like a lot of business are using Facebook to market themselves. You don't need to open up an Instagram account just because everybody else is doing it. If you're comfortable with, um, using Facebook, go ahead and proceed and just use Facebook. Again, if you want to have your business name kind of just, I guess, going through different types of source, obviously, Instagram and TikTok is good. But again, a lot of people will use social media to promote their sales. Like, hey, I have a product. Um, Here's the product on my social media page. Check out my website. But social media is designed to build communities. It's not designed to pitch a sale. So again,
Right.
if you are using Instagram, you're not going to be like you're not going to be using Instagram to promote your product. You're going to be
Right.
promoting who's behind the brand, right?
Because a lot of my clients will be seniors, and a lot of them, don't even know how to use a computer, never mind trying to, look. Some don't even know how to use Facebook, right? So I was just wondering what other, it's almost like old school. You get out there,
Yeah.
or, and meet people and give your cards and information out. But is there any other areas where you can advertise besides like Psychology Today, or, is there anything else that I'm missing?
Yeah, you can have little pop-up shops. That's a great way to do networking. You could be, I don't know, like in a grocery store, just, handling pamphlets of, what your business is about. But yeah, if you're kind of like your ideal client are more elderly people, um, yeah, maybe like farmers market. That's a good place to be. Um,
I
or
just thought
again,
there
yeah,
would be
yeah,
some
yeah.
sort of place, But thank you very much.
If you want, Valerie, you can follow up with a quick email. So then I can
Okay.
just get a better understanding of your business.
Okay.
Then we can
Great.
we can follow up with a bit more details.
Okay. Thank you kindly, Eric.
Great questions. And I know we're coming up on time, everyone. So we will wrap up quickly. If anyone has another question, we'll do one more. And then afterwards, we'll wrap things up here. So if anyone wants to chat, that'd be awesome.
I would like to get a little bit more clarification about getting the business permit or public liability insurance. I know you emphasized about contacting the city and doing the permit. However, again, my question is the same. Is it mandatory? Where does it say that it be a must, especially if you're just starting the business and there is no income? So that's the question that I would like to have, if possible, more clear answer to. Or where can I find that information? I don't see that information anywhere. Even calling the city to inquire, all they want to know if I want to get the permit. They wouldn't give me any suggestion or whether I need it or not.
Yeah, so it depends. Like again, it depends on your like I would need a little bit more context in terms of, what's your business. But if, you're not getting any income, if you haven't even registered the business, like you can get this information beforehand. But if you had registered the business and you're still kind of like not getting the income and you're asking like, is it a must? It depends on which industry you're in. If you've called the city of Winnipeg and they're not very giving you a clear answer, again, you can follow up with me and Paul, and we can look into it a little bit more because we deal with different industry every day. Um, I would need a little bit more context in regards to that question.
Yeah, like a couple of
Okay.
things that come to mind is like if you're a consultant and you're just working from home, that like everything we know and that we read about online through the city and we've heard is it is mandatory. But where it gets shady is you're doing a consulting business, all your receipts and everything. We live in a digital age. No mail person is dropping off the mail at your house. No one's, parking in your driveway. No, like it's hard for the city to detect that there's a business. But I was on a call a couple of weeks ago. A guy started a mechanic shop out of his garage. While all of a sudden, is there 5 cars constantly parked on the street and in the driveway, people coming and going, home-based food businesses. This happens a lot. And it doesn't take long for the city to come knocking at your door then. So really depends on what you're doing. So I just really urge people, just get it. But I also understand depending on what you're doing, you might be able to get away with it. So that's why it's a little convoluted, which is I wish we could give you like a, clear set in stone answer. So sorry about that, Helena, but yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do.
Can we follow up on that, Eric, as you were saying a little bit more in detail over the email? Can you email me and then I will email you back? I don't have your email. I can't see it anywhere in the chat box. I would appreciate that. And then I have another question about business, what is it, online, companies online, but we are out of time. So I would ask it over email.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll just do questions directly. You contact us. I reshared our contact information in the chat box there. Again, if you can't have it, we have your email, so we can easily reach out if you have any questions. I'll also share a few upcoming webinars and events we have in the chat. So on September 19th, so next Tuesday, we've got the importance of an export plan coming up. September 20th, we've got our second live event, WTC Talks, happening in Steinbach. So that's September 20th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We have a couple great local entrepreneurs in the Steinbach area presenting. So would love to see your faces. And then September 26th, our business planning program is live, as Eric mentioned earlier in the presentation. And then lastly, there's our WTC events calendar. So it's good practice just to bookmark that page, stay subscribed to our newsletter, and yeah. So thank you so much for attending our webinar today. Again, we're here to help. So reach out if you have any questions.